Alright, so another coaching video, very excited for it. This is going to be Diamond 6. This person is trying to get to Diamond 5 for the first time, or at least the first time in a bit. And they're playing against a Hunter as Plague Death Knight. They're playing the list that I used to play, the one that runs Celestial Projectionist, to try to get as much value out of the Chained Guardian as possible. Let's talk about the mulligans right away. I would keep the Tomb Trader here 100%, because I know that against a Hunter... Oh, wait, okay, so they changed it. It looks like they're going to keep it. Okay. Excellent choice. Against a Hunter, you know that they're going to probably flood the board early, and you have a way of getting early plagues into their deck. Yes, there is a world where they end up drawing both, and then you just have like a useless 4-drop in your hand, which does kind of suck, but like, it's a risk I'm willing to take here. But the main thing is you absolutely need to have a response to their early game, right? Let's increase the speed here a little bit so we can go from turn to turn a little bit faster. But you need to have an early game plan against a Hunter. Also, this is just perfect down with the ship to kill off the... I would coin out down with the ship here because you know they're gonna play bananas. They're gonna... Okay, in theory, what they could... If they play double bananas here, I think the game is just over. There's a chance they don't. They only have Barrel of Monkeys, but in this particular instance, you have to think about like how... Because they're saying in the comments that they specifically do poorly against Hunter and aggressive matchups. This is a thing that you need to just get better at, I think. Looking at what is going to lose you the game. What is the most immediate threat that'll lose me the game? Oh yeah, this Vicious Slither Spear becoming a 5/5 with bananas on turn 2, and then possibly even bigger after that. Luckily, they didn't have it, and you can just kill it with the down with the ship next turn. But if you had taken double bananas, then they play another one, and you're taking like 9 to 11 damage. I would have also hit that to put a Plague in their deck just because it doesn't really matter. Getting it to 3 HP is good with the Tomb Guardian, but just being able to have that setup and making sure that you're not going to lose to the most immediate threat is huge. Because again, against a Hunter with a lot of direct damage, and they did have... Oh no, I think they just drew bananas. That was very lucky. Chill Fallen Baron's fine here. I would say that doing that to draw a card, I guess you could coin out Tomb Trader to kill off one thing, but there really is no need. Helia is a fantastic card to draw here on turn 4. I think it is better than the Tomb Trader, but we will see. Maybe they put bananas on this or something. I don't know. You could also, in theory, Tomb Trader and then hit this. Go here. Tomb Trader and kill that. I want to think about this for a second. I think it's correct. Yeah, I'd probably do it too. It's a pretty clean wipe. Helia is good though. Like I said, Helia is fine, but in this matchup, like I said, you have to think what is the most immediate thing that's gonna kill me, and the immediate thing that's gonna kill me is the stuff on board and then taking direct damage later. So you into an aggro matchup, you can't really afford to be greedy, because at this point you still haven't used your coin yet. And yeah, you can theoretically coin out the Gnome Muncher, but are you gonna do that next turn? Most likely, you're probably just gonna play Helia or School Teacher and again save your coin. I'm not saying that that's the right thing to do. I'm just saying that, like, historically, or when I watch other people play, they'll make the more greedy play into this matchup. In this matchup, you are not winning the game through Plagues and Helia. You're winning the game by healing, getting a good minion out here that has 5 attack that would kill this at the end of your turn anyway, keeping an extra minion alive. Now they play Eversong Portal, and at this point against an aggro matchup, you still haven't played your coin yet, which is a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. Yeah, I'm guilty of holding my coin for a really long time too sometimes, but into an aggressive matchup, I do try my hardest to use the coin as aggressively as possible. It's really the only way that you can match. I don't know if they win or lost this game. I don't know the outcome of these games beforehand, but given the fact that they've played so greedy, I think that there's a real possibility that the Hunter finds some direct damage at the end and wins the game. You do have double Gnome Muncher here, which is nice. That's interesting. Okay, I don't dislike that play. I don't hate it. I think that it's fine, actually. I was thinking about trying to remove it or just playing Gnome Muncher here, and at this point, like, this is another instance where you really would have liked to have had Gnome Muncher out last turn. It's just awkward. But now you know that it would have hit a 4-1, which is not ideal. I'm trying to think if there's a way I would have traded differently, and I think that the way they played it, they got rid of the most amount of things, which is not bad. But yeah, at this point, they're already struggling, and I think what they could... Obviously, the turn 1 play worked out fine for them, but it could have been bad, and I don't want to be results-focused. And then on turn 5, coining out No Muncher to heal up and get some extra pressure on the board is fine. Like, notice how I literally predicted they were going to play Helia turn 5, even though coin No Muncher is correct, because people, especially people who play Plague Death Knight, and I was guilty of this too, greatly overvalued, at least in my opinion, playing Helia in certain matchups. In some matchups, she is not the win condition. And this is one of those where that's the case. And at this point, they probably, if they have Ricochet shot, it's been pumped up, it goes boom, boom, boom. They hit face for a ton of damage, and the game is probably over at this point. I mean, I'll continue watching it out, obviously. But if I had to guess, if they have any sort of removal at all, oh, they have to hit with the 4-1. Okay, never mind. The game is still winnable, actually, I will say. It's going to be hard, and you're going to have to try to discover something amazing off of the Nerubian Vizier here. You are going to have to figure out something. Blood Boil could be insane to randomly generate here. If you get that, I think that might just win you the game. Okay, let's think about this. Since it's no mana, I think Runes of Darkness is correct. There's nothing really you need to obliterate. I would probably choose this, but it's close. Actually, Rune Forging might be okay too, because you can possibly... No. I'm just trying to think here, like, what saves them, and I don't want to take damage with Obliterate. Rune Forging will get you a weapon for free, then you can coin out No Muncher. Runes of Darkness probably won't... Yeah. You get to kill the 3/6, which is not bad. I would kill the 3/6 here with Obliterate if you chose Obliterate in the first place. You miss out on 1 damage, but this minion is way easier to kill. And then you coin out No Muncher. But again, like I said before, I just think that it would have been better to have No Muncher out already with the 1 coin play. But it's too late to change that now, obviously. They still have Bananas or... Oh, that's a different Bananas from the last one they played, which is fine. But let's see here. How do we get out of this one? This one's definitely suboptimal. They could draw a bunch of Plagues next turn and maybe heal you, but even then it's kind of weird. Oh my god, that's an insane talk duck. Oh my goodness gracious. I would play Astalor here, I think. I would probably play Astalor here to try... Well, that could get Obliterate, but Astalor sets up Astalor for the next turn to be mana thirsted. Wow, you got Obliterate. Okay, no, that's really good. You kind of got bailed out by a little bit of RNG by playing, I think, the early game a little bit greedy. But that's the thing about greed. Occasionally, it will pay off. I will admit, though, they do lack you do lack healing a little bit. So if they have good direct damage or collateral damage or arcane spells from hand, you could still be in a bit of trouble. But you do have Astalor here. Very, very lucky it did not hit this 1/1. If it had hit the 1/1, you would have been in a lot more trouble. Yes. Another Helia. Decent, but I don't know if it's necessarily correct. I mean, I'd probably take her at this point. I mean, at this point, you're fine. You play that, you play that, you play that. Don't play the Cadaver because you don't want to accidentally give them a hidden meaning. Unless it's already been triggered. I wasn't fully paying attention to that. Oh, no. Okay, it can't be. Okay, if they draw a couple of cards here, it could be really bad for you. Okay. They drew nothing. That's great for you, by the way. That's fantastic. It looks like you end up winning the game. I do think that you... Okay, wait. Hold on. I don't want to speak too soon. Oh, wow, that's really good. I do think that the early game was played a little bit too greedy, but in the end, you were bailed out by a couple of things. I think you played... I think of the decisions that were made, you made, like, the second best decision each time. Like, it's not like you just hero-powered on that one turn or played, like... I think at the time maybe you had, like, a Distressed Voldir hero power. Like, it's not like you made a bad play. You just make, and in some matchups, it is better to play the way that you play. Like if I were playing against like a priest or a blood death knight or like a druid, I would have definitely made a lot of the plays you made. But since you said that one of your issues is playing against more aggressive decks, I'm just trying to let you know that like in certain matchups, plays that are usually better aren't always better, is basically what I'm trying to say. And they're just hopping right into another game. It's great. I think it's the same deck. I don't think they edited anything against another hunter. Thank goodness they were playing against that again. Yeah, keep the down of the ship. Keep Helia. Again, I mean, like, Helia, like I already said, is a little bit greedy, but it's still, like, the next best 4-drop that you can play other than something like Tomb Trader, right? And in this case, you don't necessarily have the coins, so you don't have to be, or you're not going to have the ability to up the tempo like you were last game. Are they going to bananas it? Okay, they're going to Awaken Tremors. I would probably just Hero Power hit the 1/1 here. Yeah, seems about right. Now, next turn, even though it might not be optimal, I would probably go down with the ship. And this is another instance where, like, yes, what you want to probably do is play the Voldir, or you want to Hero Power to kill it off for cheap, right? Like, that's what you probably want to do. But at the end of the day, if they end up flooding the board somehow, you need to have a Plague in their deck at this point to play the Tomb Trader next turn. It looks like they hovered over the card. Okay, they do see that out. Oh, hold up. Hold up. I guess if they play this, the 2-mana 3/2, it's also viable because it also shuffles things into their deck. It's just you take more damage. I like this play the most. They get rid of 4 damage off the board immediately. They put things into their deck in case they need Tomb Trader. In this particular instance, I don't think I would play it. It's a little bit weird. I would play Helia. And now you actually have a great option in the future to go Tomb Trader plus the Noxus Cadaver. Not Noxus. Noxus is a League of Legends thing. Noxious or something. Cadaver. Right? You can, if they pump that up twice, you can in theory go Tomb Trader and then ping it with the Cadaver. And they're probably going to play a couple more little minions. That's fine. You kill off most of the things. You take a lot of damage this way, though, which is unfortunate. No Muncher coming down turn 5 is going to be fantastic, though. Oh, they didn't use the second banana. Oh, no, wait. Actually, you kill off their entire board. No, that's actually super duper good. Okay, this is after nerfs. Somebody was asking me to make sure that these games were after the nerfs, and thank goodness these are. This has to be a no Muncher play here. Go face with the 4/1. I don't know if I like that play. And the reason is because this goes face anyway, so in theory, you would actually do more damage to their face, right? Yeah, you have 2 minions living here. But if the 4/1 hits their minion, you're actually hitting them in the face for 5 damage, and your big minion has more HP. Now this can die to a potentially upgraded ricochet shot, it can die to an arcane shot, it can die to the conjured arrow for 2 damage. I would have gone face with this, because even though you have 1 more minion on board, that's not always best. Right? Sometimes it's better into certain matchups. Like against a priest, maybe a wider board's good because they can just like cannibalize your 1/5/6. But if they use a board wipe, it feels better for them to use a board wipe on 2 minions. But against a hunter that has limited removal, getting 1 bigger minion is in my opinion better. That's just my thoughts. You could still play your own way. Obviously, I'm not the best player in the world or anything, but I've been top 100 legend before. I know a little bit what I'm talking about. Great patchwork, hits Yogg. The other hit was kind of suboptimal, but it doesn't matter. I would have liked to have hit the Titan, but honestly, I have no problems with this. This is a great spot to be in for you. Let me rephrase that. You are at 8 HP. This is an okay spot to be in for you. This is, I mean, it's gotta be the Chain Guardian into, I would say the Voldir. I would say the Voldir here. Yep. You just have to hope they don't have 8 damage. That's pretty nice for you. Shuffles back in. I would have liked for that to be a blood one. Obviously, we can't choose which one we get, but getting a blood one would have been nice. Okay, they do kill off a decent number of your minions. It's close. Another secret that's probably hidden meaning, and then a taunt minion. But you have lethal here, in theory. If you just play the Chain Guardian hit here, you have 12 damage. I'm assuming they aren't running, what's it called? They aren't running Explosive Trap. That's just not one that they run in their deck. Yeah, they're just gonna concede. That was a well-played game, I think. I think it played more to your outs. I really like the fact that, excuse me, on turn 2, you played the down with the ship just in case you need the Tomb Trader for the next one, for the next turn. I actually think that was very, very, very well played. This one is against a Druid. Okay, Druid should be a good matchup for you, and this is one where I would like to play more greedy, if possible. This one, I would keep the Voldir. There's no reason to keep down with the ship. Yes, you can hard mulligan for Helia, and arguably, it could be correct. But I think that having a 2-drop, because at the end of the day with Druid, you could outvalue them, but you could also just tempo them out a little bit, which could be a way to win games sometimes. Living Roots for 2/1/1s. I would still play the Voldir here, even though it's going to die. It's a little bit demoralizing, but it's fine. If it ends up dying, you can always just play the Mortician next turn. Oh no. They're going Treant Druid. Okay. Sure. They're just flooding the board as quickly as possible. That's not great. Down with the ship is fine, but I still would go with the Mortician here. At this point, you're just hoping to top deck the At this point, you're just hoping to top deck a Tomb Trader. You have to play the Mortician here. You have to discover a card. The only way you can really win here is if you try to discover a card. I would like to say I love the fact that this person is thinking so much. You can actually like see their thought process when playing these games, and I'm loving it because in the last couple of videos, people were making plays way too fast. If you just like take a card and hover and think about it, like, okay, they hovered the Mortician, then they hovered their hero power for a second, then they hovered down with the ship over the 2/2. If you just think about all the things that you can do, that's a very good card to get, actually. I would take the Swarm Guard for a good turn 4. Oh, wait, no. Blightfang could possibly be insane. Okay, so this is hard. I think the Nerubian Swarm Guard is better because it protects you, but the Blightfang has the potential to just absolutely swing the game in your favor. So it comes down to basically how greedy you want to be. I might have taken Blightfang there, actually. I legitimately think I would have taken the Blightfang there because into Druid, you know like what their win condition is, right? I dropped something, my bad. The main win condition of this deck is they get to turn 7 and they play Drum Circle, or turn 6 if they have the coin. And in order to do this, they need to play the 1 forged card so both of the effects combine. They haven't played the forged card yet, so you know you don't have to worry about that. They've summoned Saplings, not Treants, so the Cultivation 8 mana card hasn't been reduced in mana cost. So at this point, you're not really on a clock. I think that you could have afforded to be a little bit more greedy and chosen Blightfang. Tomb Trader is really, really good. Arguably better in this situation. They took this play a little bit fast. They made that play a little bit fast, but I guess you don't need to play Tomb Trader. It could be better into different situations. This turn, I would probably just play Astalor to kill a 3/2, and then... Would I down with the ship hit their face? No, down with the ship does have more reliable resource, or more reliable uses, I think. You can play Celestial Projectionist to get more Astalors next turn, or a Gnome Muncher. But like, just imagine if their board at this point, or your board was full of 2/2s with Taunt, right? Because like, it's something that they would have had to deal with. Because now they've played this 4/4, but you've had multiple turns now to deal with the 1/1s. Worst case scenario, turn 5 could have been like Astalor hero power to hit these things, and you get some 2/2s. It's a greedier play, but I don't think it's necessarily bad. This turn, I can already see their gears turning. You already have, in my opinion, a fine play with a Gnome Muncher, but they drew Helia, and sometimes Helia is the most frustrating thing to draw because you know that there could be a better play, and you might want to set up with a slightly better board with like Gnome Muncher next turn, right? Because you know that they're going to flood the board with Drum Circle, so you know Gnome Muncher gives you the most immediate pressure, but you drew Helia, and you're like, I want to play Helia and down with the ship. And it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen, and you leave the 2/2 up, which also means one more thing is going to get pumped. To be fair, if they top decked a Frost Plague here, of which they only have one in the deck, by the way, looking at the deck tracker. If they top deck Frost Plague, you're nuts. But this turn, they're going to play Drum Circle. They have one more minion that they're going to end up pumping up, and you have slightly less pressure on board. Or not. I guess they didn't have it. That's fine. Again, a little bit lucky being bailed out a little bit by RNG right there. Yes, Plague Death Knight is going to be able to basically save you. But, I don't know. It's hard. I was just checking to make sure that Drum Circle is in fact a 7-mana card and not 8, and I was misremembering for some reason, but no, it is 7. This was a very dangerous turn to just leave up. Because if they had flooded the board there, you don't really have a response. Even if they flood the board now, even if they top decked it this turn, it's still a little scary. Okay? Oh, they were waiting to solar eclipse it. Okay, yeah, I don't know how you win at this point. To be fair, again, the misplay doesn't really matter that much because there's not really much you can do against this play anyway. So it's not really like a your fault, it was a bad play, blah, 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 blah. Like, I think it was a suboptimal play, but I also don't think there's anything you could have done, right? And they got this out on turn 8. If they had drawn a Frost Plague, maybe. If you had taken the Blight Fang and you had played a little bit more aggressively, maybe you would have been in a position right now to maybe win. Still risky, still don't think so, but at least it would have been a little bit closer. But yeah, there's not really too much else that you could have done there. You kill off the 6-2. You can't really, I would have tried to kill off the 4-3. They drew a Frost Plague, but it doesn't matter at this point. I would have killed off the 4-3. I don't think it matters because they still have 30 damage here, but overall, I like the way you played. I think you played the second game the best. You played around certain things better. Like on turn 2, you played a little bit less greedy. And I think that with this deck, just don't overvalue Helia like you did in the first game. I don't think Helia was necessarily the correct card to play on curve there. I think you could have gone with something else. And then this game, I also don't think Helia was the correct thing to do. I actually called it. I was like, drawing the Helia here is going to make them really want to play Helia, as well as the down with the ship, instead of no Muncher, which I think is the correct call. You double trade here, one minion stays alive, no Muncher kills this off. If they play Drum Circle, you have at least a little bit more wiggle room. But again, they double activated Drum Circle. There is nothing you can do about this board in the end, unless you had Chained Guardian, and even then, it can't even kill off the 6/10s. So overall, I think it was very well played. Yeah, definitely deserve to be Diamond, and I think with a little bit more grinding, you'll definitely hit Legend. I like the fact that you have so much thought process as well. I can see you thinking about multiple different moves, and that's something that even I don't do sometimes. Even I just play the game way too fast, but I love the fact that even if you didn't make the right choice, in my opinion, you at least thought of all the options. Like, the thought process is there, so keep it up.